What's going on, guys? This is Mark here with Anastacio and Union Martial Arts. I failed to shout out my home academy, my baby, but there it is for you guys. I'm going to give you guys a quick solo training video in single stick, but before we get to that, I just want to let you guys know how appreciative I am of all of our online members at Anastacio. We've recently launched Premium Access a few months ago, which gives you double the amount of content, and honestly, the lessons have just been getting better and better, and they've been specifically targeting methods of training when you don't have a partner, considering our situation and also considering the fact that a lot of us training on the Anastacio platform are training at home or just don't have an academy or a partner to train with. With that being said, guys, I want to do a little bit more. I always look to improve what we can offer as a team, what we can offer to not just the martial arts community, but specifically those interested in Filipino martial arts. And our final tier, Elite Access, the top of the top, the best of the best, is going to be pushed from fall to summer. So we're going to try to get that going in the next couple months. And the biggest difference that there is going to be in that is you are going to be able to record yourself and send feedback videos per lesson. And of course, we're going to have a very intimate one-on-one live stream session between each other, so I can go about teaching more into the philosophy, the principles, and helping you make adjustments on the spot and trying to give you more of that instructor to student relationship and feeling that the academy offers. And that's one of the biggest things that I personally can provide to all my students. It's not that necessarily my martial arts is better than the other martial arts, or even my mats are better color. It has nothing to do with that. It's the bond I share with my students and my ability to get you from point A to point B, whatever your point A is and whatever your point B is. So if you guys are interested in that and you want to know more, make sure you click the link below. It's going to be a little bit of an FAQ on our Anastacio website, and some super good stuff coming your way to be able to register for it if you are a current member. So with all that being said, let's jump into it. I've been showing a lot of single stick techniques in terms of flow, in terms of actual techniques that we would use, but I wanted to take a step away from that for a second. And hear me out. A lot of the techniques are good when you're following a curriculum, but you also, you want to feel confident when you have a weapon in your hand. And I'm just using the single stick to help you guys out because this is a very common weapon shared amongst us, but it's really going to isolate the art as a system, I should say, and also just build your dexterity up and your comfortability with having a weapon in your hand. Sometimes it'll be in your hand in the right position, sometimes it'll be in the wrong position, sometimes you need to change positions, or maybe sometimes you need to draw the weapon, put the weapon away, and those are all very important aspects that I think we kind of push to the side because we're so focused on the angle ones and angle twos and hitting the target, which is, yes, important, but when we look at it more of a self-defense or in more of a real-time situation, you don't automatically have the stick in your hand and you're free to strike all day long, right? So I'm just going to show you guys a couple of drills that I like doing as a warm-up that I like doing on my spare time, and hopefully you guys can take that and add it to your warm-ups or add it to your current training and just get yourself a little bit more comfortable. So the first one that we're going to do is what we call a back chamber. So chambering is literally anything where it's in a position to be used. So in Kung Tao, we chamber our hands to our waist sometimes, we chamber our legs when we're ready to kick. So in this case, when we chamber, we have multiple positions where we can keep our baton, our stick, or our weapon close by. That's good for weapon retention. It's also good for understanding the position that you are in and where your weapon is at all times. So we're going to do what we call a back chamber. Basically, we take the stick, we put it behind our shoulder. It's not necessarily right behind like I'm scratching my back, more to the side and back of our deltoid. And we're going to grab on. It's very nunchuck or tabatoyuk style, if you will. So once I have it chambered in the back, I'm going to release my initial grip, which is currently right now my right hand. And once I have that in my left hand, I bring it to the other side. And basically, I just want to flow this around. I get comfortable putting the stick behind my shoulder. And this is just a good warm-up for me to get used to being able to transition very seamlessly. Not that it's probably going to be there all the time when you actually do need to use this or have it deployed, but it's good to be able to take the stick away, transition into different positions, especially if you're looking to do things like stick grapple. So this is our back chamber. Now we have kind of like an inside chamber, if you will. And basically it goes from a twirl to an invert and then into our armpit. Now, this is more so for the sake of transitioning hands without letting go of my weapon and without me having to strike. Okay, so I can tuck this in, keep it away from you, and be able to switch off my grip here. And the most important part is that I'm not physically passing the stick over to my hand where I lose connection. I keep the connection with my arm here. I have a nice tight pinch, which is actually very, very strong, and I can easily transition to my other hand. Now, one of the most important reasons why we might have to do that is if I do have the stick, maybe I'm jamming or I'm pushing with my safety hand, I'm trying to check and clear, I realize that I can't use this or I don't feel comfortable with it, whatever it might be. I come over here, I can grab my secondary weapon. I always use my imaginary firearm when I teach, but I can grab my secondary weapon, I can switch off and have kind of like a espada y daga feel, if you will, long and short, or I can literally just keep this on the side as I prioritize my secondary or my right lead. Okay, so obviously you can do that on both sides. If I invert it on the other side, switch off, pass off here. Okay, so that's where we kind of work with different positions, and obviously these things might apply more to other people, but it's an overall skill that I think is very important for everyone. So the last kind of chamber that we go through, and this is one that has been heavily stressed by my Grandmaster John Bias, and every time you move, it's very important to understand where your weapon is at all times, right? You have to kneel down for whatever reason, you have to pick something up, tie your shoe even. It's never ever a good rule to put the stick on the ground. And that kind of leads to kind of our philosophy in class. If you drop a stick, I'm not sure how it is with you guys, but if we drop our stick, aside from a disarm technique, you automatically owe 10 push-ups, and then the consequences go on, just to make you understand the importance of the connection with your weapon and being able to know when you can use it, when you can't use it, and be able to deploy it. So if for whatever reason I have to kneel down, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna chamber it into my leg. Okay, so one of the quick and easy drills is, again, I wanna create connection outside of my hand. So I put it in nice and tight. I can lean forward or I can pull my leg back. So I create that tight connection. It's now in between my hamstring and my calf, okay? So from here, my hands are free. Again, I can draw my secondary. I can do whatever I need to. But for the sake of getting your reps in, pass it off to the other hand, release, bring it around, and repeat. So I bring it in as tight to my handle point or my holding point here, okay? I try not to keep it too far out like this. That way I'm covering more of the weight, almost like my leg becomes the actual hand, and it's a lot easier for me to hold very comfortably. And most importantly, I know that if I'm gonna redraw with my right hand, this is exactly where I need to grab it. I kind of illustrate it. It's more of a 50-50. I might confuse myself. I might decide either or and lose a second or two. So again, I take the stick, I bring it from the outside going towards the inside, either lean forward or pull the knee back so you can pinch it, release, make sure the connection's done with your leg, grab over with the other hand, release the connection from our legs, bring it around, and repeat, okay? So those are kind of the tactical ones, if you were to put it that way. There's also a bunch of other ones that, you know, in some cases are frowned upon in the Filipino martial arts community. I get it, because I frowned upon it once upon a time, but there's always another side to the coin, which I think is a very important thing you should all think of as well. Not every technique has to kill. Not every technique has to have even an application. When you look at things like extreme martial arts, or you look at like the katas and the weapon patterns, where they're taking that weapon, they're going crazy with the twirls, and then maybe they'll do like one of these and then catch it. Will you do that in a street fight or in self-defense? Probably not. But the coordination to do those things, it really shows a connection between you and the weapon, right? This weapon can vary in size and shape and weight, and the more that you become comfortable with it, the more you're able to do these fancy, non-essential movements, but that'll only further your ability to control and manipulate the position. So there's a whole bunch of crazy things you can do with it. Honestly, at this point, if you're gonna look at it that way, for a more creative side, just to build up the dexterity, just be creative with it. See how you can break rules, or see how you can work outside the box, right? And just focus on being able to change up the position and just understand your weapon a little more. I promise you it's gonna pay its dividends one way or another. So like I said, guys, this is a very quick one. It's a little bit more of an education, and hopefully you guys can take this and again add it to your warm-ups. It's very important to warm up and not just start swinging the stick. Get used to moving in and around the weapon, with the weapon, without the weapon, and put yourself in different situations and different scenarios to really get as many angles to this art as you can, because it's so vast and you won't ever be able to get from start to finish in a lifetime. But with the stuff you do know, you want to be very good at it, you want to be very educated in it, so you can use it if necessary in multiple ways, in multiple situations. So that's it, guys. I know there's been a little bit of a lapse of videos, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. I've been working super hard on trying to get the Academy prepped for reopening, working hard with all the virtual content. So if you guys want to see more lessons, more technical lessons, make sure you guys check out Anastacio Khalid Online Access. We got free trials. We got 2 different tiers, working on the 3rd one. And if you guys want to hear more things about philosophy, if you guys want to hear more explanations and things, you know, aside from just the angle 1s and angle 2s, not that they won't be here, make sure you hit that subscribe button if you're new to the channel. Make sure you also turn on that notification so that you guys can see my videos come up. And until next time, stay safe, and I'll catch you guys then.